So let's do the Red Ryder. This was the pedal I originally heard about you on.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just punch my microphone. So this is similar to the old Blue, but higher gain is what you were kind of saying earlier with when you were talking about the old Blue. So
yeah, it's got an LM308 in it, kind of like the old 70s Rats. And does it sound better than the other chips? I don't know, but it's how I made it, and it sounded so great that I was like, I don't ever want to change it just in case.
I made this. I'm putting it on the fridge, and that's what we're doing.
And if people want it, cool. I don't think anybody thinks that it sounds worse than the new ones, so I might as well include it. Maybe you can sell the chip alone for like $1,000 in 10 years. You never know. The thing is, actually, I did do an A/B probably like a year ago between the kind of a more modern, the OP07 chip or whatever it's called, and then the LM308. And they do sound different, but you can get there basically by tweaking the EQ knobs. So it's like the LM308 I find is to my ears a little bit more warm and like you can say vintage sounding.
Yeah. And that chip's in like everything, because like isn't it that's what like is in the Distortion Plus and things like that?
I'm not sure. I'm
pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I only know of the LM308 being in the Rats. And maybe anything.
I may be wrong, but I feel like that's like that was one of the first like 8-pin like op amps that was just in everything.
So yeah, the one thing I like about the Red Ryder is it sounds really nice at lower gains.
Yeah.
So just kind of like the and then the LED clipping that it has, a lot louder, but it's
nice. Awesome.
You can turn everything up. Normally pedals don't sound great with everything turned up. I'm going to keep the volume there just so I don't break what it's plugged into. But yeah, everything dimed is...
You can tell you really make pedals to like riff through.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Just from going around your line and then listening to you play, like you like to play riffs, you like big chords, you like that jangle, you like that sparkle. It's
That's
like
exactly my sound, yeah.
Good stuff to like lay a song over, not just I mean, I'm sure you could shred into all these pedals, but like you can tell that
I can't shred too well, but someone else can, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's
I just
super
turned
cool.
the wet dry blend a little bit, which is a cool. So you got a little bit of the clean and then like a pretty much maxed out pedal.
Nice. I just now realized that that's a knob.
That is one confusing thing. That is it's a hidden feature. It's a knob. The LED is a knob itself.
I have sold these and never realized that was a knob.
Well, I've had people actually call me up and, well, not call me up. What is it, 1992?
DM me. Get it, slip into my DMs.
People will slide into the DMs and say, my Red Ryder is broken or the distortion is really quiet. And then I'm like, what's up with the wet dry blend? And they're like, what? And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, that light? Because I tried to include like the little logo on there. That's a W and a D. And of course I make it difficult by not putting real words. But yeah, someone will be like, oh yeah, I had that turned all the way to the right to dry. And I was like, oh yeah, turn that baby all the way left.
Yeah.
And the reason I put that on the pedal, like I personally don't really use the wet dry blend on guitar very much, like in my own playing. It's cool for like effect or when stacking with another pedal.
Yeah.
But I did it for bass guitar.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like in my studio, I love the half dry bass amp tone, half dirty
blown out rat kind of thing.
And so you get the clarity of one with the gnarliness of the other, and it's like a nice little like bi-amp setup.
You don't lose the definition. It doesn't fall into mud. It still has some clarity and punch and cuts through, but you still get that crispiness. And I love that.
So that's exactly kind of why I created the pedal in the first place.
Yeah.
It was a vessel for the wet dry blend on bass. And then when I ended up hearing how good it sounded on guitar, I was like, oh boy, okay, we're onto something here. So